first get free out. I mean, I see it. And I had the privilege to go up to Hunters Point up in the Bronx, to Sustainable South Bronx, and look at their programs that they got going up there, and it's really amazing. I really like what they're doing, how they're employing the people up there. But one of the things I want to ask you about is food insecurities. That is when there's no grocery stores in the community. Now, I'm part of the Black Panther Party here in Dallas, Texas, and I had to do a paper on the Panthers up in Oakland. How do we do that as far as Africans in our communities, where when we go through our communities, we have more liquor stores and churches than we have supermarkets? And I'm really, really seeing that as far as that's what's happening in our communities. And you're talking about growing mustard greens and that. What are some ideas that you can give as far as how we can go about getting those conscious supermarkets? Because I know up in Chicago and Oakland, they're doing it. They have black-owned grocery stores where they're bringing in organic food. So how can we do this? Can you give me like a template or something that we can do?
Right on. Thank you. Well, in Atlanta, for example, and I believe the website is Truly Living Well Urban Farms. Truly Living Well. That's not the .com. That's not exactly it. You can Google that. And there's a brother, we go to him on Wednesdays. He's a former Black Panther, Brother Rashid. He's created, he's an excellent farmer, first of all. And what he do is teach people how to make hood farms in your backyard, right? He teaches you how to do compost. He teaches you, how things grow. And one of the things he says is, I don't grow food. If the food grows itself, what I do is make soil. You know what I mean? And so he's right, hands-on. He has some things on the website that are educational, and what he teaches the model. You know what I mean? And we, every Wednesday we over there, and he got a supermarket under the sun. You know what I mean? With a diverse produce, and there's other examples, but in Atlanta, that's a concrete example. It's called Truly Living Well Urban Farms. Brother Rashid, I want to say it's trulylivingwell.com, but I might be wrong with exact.com. But I know if you Google it in Atlanta, it'll pop up.
All right, I was going to say the same thing. And big up to the local farmers markets and farmers co-ops that are throughout here. They have them all through Texas. That's in Houston. There's a hand, anybody?
Thank you for being here once again. When you put out the hip hop video, became an instant fan right off the bat. I'm also in the health and fitness big time. I do capoeira and Angola, and we got a couple of bandoleros in the house right about now. But when you put out that video, you promoted a martial art event. I don't know what it is. Can you tell us what that martial art was, and let us know a little bit about your workout history?
Okay, right on. This is my passion. Ile Ajala is the name of the art that you see in the hip hop video. My instructor in that art, his name is Woza Vega. And I got into Ile Ajala, which is an art from 3 styles in Africa, on the west coast of Africa. I got into that after Wushu Kung Fu after 2 years. I wanted to obviously get more into my culture. I realized martial arts come from Africa. You know what I mean? I started studying Shaolin, Buddhism. All these things were African people spreading the knowledge and wisdom, throughout the different places. So Master Woza Vega, he was an extremely important person because he taught us the African mindset of martial arts as an approach to training. Like people familiar with Bruce Lee. I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had a concept called Jeet Kune Do, which I was able to study for 2 years under Stephen Rather Mitchell. Jala and Jeet Kune Do is that Bruce was considered a rebel because he was like, man, 2 arms, 2 legs, you know, whatever works, work. All that classical, do it like this and block and do all this stuff. He was like, that don't make sense, you know. So he was more apply yourself to the situation. But the African arts are that's the concept from the jump, you know. So I was able to see that through that art. When I moved to Atlanta, I met a brother in the rural movement named Sekou. I call him Baba Okalaji, and he is a head instructor for an art called Egbe Ogun. And then me and my son started taking Egbe Ogun since I've been in Atlanta. This is the African art from the Ifon. And if anybody's familiar with Orisha, you know, Ogun is the warrior spirit. And this is a martial art that is patterned around, you know, some of the spiritual teachings of Africa. So I've been blessed to be around a community of warriors. Right now, I'm at the art of boxing with my son as well, Tuesday and Thursday. And so we getting in you know, Muhammad Ali, shuffle the move, stick the move, you know, it's just a constant thing. But to answer your question about my workout is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, light workout on Sunday. I do 2 hours Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and light, have fun, hit speed bag on Sundays. And I'm at the boxing gym Tuesday and Thursday when I'm in town. So my basic regimen is about strength, flexibility, and endurance. You know what I mean? I try to work my legs, my mid, my back, my arms, the pushing and pulling, you know what I mean, and the cardio, you know, the whole program. I jump rope, I use weights, free weights, I use the heavy bag, spar, shadow box, I run, you know, and I have a vegan diet, I stop smoking weed, I don't drink alcohol, no soda, no sugar, no candy. That's how I'm doing.
How long have you been vegan?
I've been a vegan, well, I was a vegan for a long time. When I was 22, I became a vegan. And for about 9 years, I was a vegan. Then I became a vegetarian because I started eating fish. And not dairy or nothing, but just fat salmon, you know, in particular. I had some goals of weight gain and certain things, and I was testing on myself. I don't advocate fish, you know what I mean? And I studied about mercury, and I studied about all kind of cholesterol issues as it relates to meat anyway, you know, and so, but I test myself, I test things, I don't be dogmatic in no form, you know, I see how it works in my body, and, you know, keep it grinding. And by the way, it's a book I suggest, man, you get it on CD, or you get the actual book. I got it on CD. It's by T. Colin Campbell. It's called The China Study. Anybody ever heard of that? The China Study. T. Colin Campbell. Excellent. My father is a victim of heart disease. He's had 2 heart attacks. My mom's, she has diabetes. And my pops don't want to hear nothing, right? He don't want to hear nothing about nothing, right? He's super hardcore. He cold turkey, on crack cocaine, all this, like super hardcore, right? I gave him that CD. He was like, I think he finally got it. That's how thorough it is. And the difference between a lot of stuff we read about vegetarian diets or whatever, in the China Study, it's actual studies instead of just ideology about vegetarianism. It's the actual studies. Like this many people for this long ate this diet, and this is what happened. This many people had cancer, and based on a plant-based diet, they reversed the condition. You know what I mean? In like 400-some thousand people in China. You know, and it's the documented evidence of all these things. So it's powerful, you know. I think my pops gonna be a little vegetarian. So
I pass the mic to sister back here, and even before I go on, make sure I see your hands too, because I'm gonna come while we're talking, and I'll be passing again. So, and then between questions, I just want to promote this thing. It's called Pulse of the People. It's Dead Prez, Dead Prez, brand new work, and you got it. But tell them about it. Let them know. It's 30% of recycled paper. We try to do a green initiative in any kind of way. I mean, as much as we can. But the CD features people like Bun B and Styles P, Chuck D, 95 All right, so
me, I guess I'm giving that I'm a school teacher, so I'm all about trying to reach the youth as best as I can. But I know we did a lesson on food labels, just point them out, look at them like, if it has a lot of sodium, maybe you shouldn't eat it, things like that. So I was sitting here listening to you guys, I'm really thinking about maybe starting a club next year, where we just talk about just, being yourself, being open, learning how to read food labels, knowing how to look at the news and see what they're really trying to do. So basically, what, I guess, techniques or what have you guys done, and specifically in terms of how to reach youth? And this is, I guess, maybe pre-adolescent age, so that's what Dead Prez, so I'm talking about, maybe 10 to 11 years old, because, then they press on, they'll put their hands up in the air, they say, I got that key, and going to McDonald's after school. So it's just like, what techniques or what suggestions do you guys have that are geared towards specifically reaching the ages of the youth?
I'll start real quick. My son is 8, and he's and usually it's just involving them in making their food, like giving them that responsibility, like they kids like food, you know what I mean, and they will like vegetables if they feel empowered and not like pushing that, like eat that, Also, I think, I guess that as a school teacher, it's much harder because, you can't dictate what, they eat or whatever. But, you can talk to the parents and try to involve them in special activities like health week, try to encourage that, and they come and bring a food, bring something, and, just basically when people are involved in something, I think we tend to be more receptive, and we own it, and you're like, I made that problem, what I mean? I know my son, that's psychology all day long, what I mean? Like, I love how you make it, what I mean? And so we get it in like that.
I just want to say the youth is a very particular thing, especially that age. There is a particular affinity the youth have with strength and power, and no matter male and female. And I think that the identification with that is everything. In many ways, we've done studies on this, and even in our own children. My children are younger than 10. But I've worked with youth pretty much all my life. Even consider myself a youth right now, regardless of what you do. But I say, like, for instance, I lived in Chicago from 1992, and I was working with young cats, and we had organized a cinema, and we created a martial arts program, and made it under the banner of the Junior Black Panthers. And so not only would they call themselves the Junior Black Panthers, we would walk down the street, and from my example of them, because my name is Matula, and so a lot of the young brothers wanted to be able to change their name, which gave them a new outlook on life. And so when I would walk past McDonald's, I'd be like, I don't eat that. And they would get a joy in telling their homeboy who had not been able to see that. When they walk past McDonald's, I don't eat that. And they look at him like, why don't you eat that? And he's like, because I'm strong, I'm a Junior Black Panther. The identification with that kind of strength and power is everything. And I think that's the reason why you have certain groups being able to have certain influence over our community the way it is. We have to be able to create that particular kind of idea that is fascinating. We got to really be creative, and I mean vigilantly creative, almost like your life depends on the creative to reach people, which is one of the reasons why rap became such an important part of my life. Because I love music. I've been dancing and DJing and writing graffiti all my life. But there was a particular point where, and I didn't know I'd be doing it now, but there was a particular point where it became so important to me that because I could be able to put some of the messages that I talk to out in some of the kind of ways. So instead of having a rally, I'm spitting lyrics, and it feels different to the youth. You know, they're always the same thing. So that's my little two cents to it. There's a brother back there with the mic now.
Yes, sir. I want y'all to speak on the exercise component of it. I mean, honestly, how can you inject fun into your exercise regimen? Because honestly, when you get older, you don't have the youth leagues, you don't play basketball, you don't do the flag football and stuff. So how can somebody, that's older, not necessarily in their 20s or whatever, how can you make the exercise fun? Because the exercise should be a byproduct rather than, because people get bored with a routine, and when they're doing it as far as exercise, they don't stick with it. It has to be a lifestyle change. So how can you make it a lifestyle change or something you look forward to doing rather than it being a chore?
Yo, man, that's key. You know what I mean? Because anything that's a chore, you ain't gonna do it too long. A couple things that work for me. I got a journal, and every night I plan my workout for the next night. So I never know what I'm gonna do exactly until the night before, right? As I move around, I'm always, when I meet martial artists, when I go to this gym, when I'm looking online, when I'm interacting with people, I'm like, what you do for the abs? How you do pull-ups, whoopie-whoop, and I write that down, right? And then it gives me so many options to work with. It's the same muscle, you know what I mean? About 10 sets of the same thing, you know what I mean? But it's about constantly getting and keeping a record that you can refer to of things you can do, and it's literally infinite ways to exercise. So the first thing is to be organized. We all in here, see Africans get organized. But a lot of times we think organized means organize somebody else. Like y'all need to get organized. But organization starts with self. And it's a beautiful thing, to wake up and know that your day already planned. Not in a, like you said, in a routine that makes you feel limited or forced to do something over and over, but in a way that you done eliminated the whole idea of, well, I ain't got it together, so tomorrow I'm waiting Thursday. I'm gonna get to it. That whole shit that holds us back a lot, I already done figured that out. If I can't think of nothing, I already got a plan. I wrote it down. It took me 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do that unless I think of something else tomorrow. You know what I mean? It works. The other thing is, goals. That's the reason with RPG Fit Club is key, because we want to answer those kind of questions and help people. There's no exercising without goals. Goals is what keeps you motivated. If you want to see, the tricep muscle stick up in the back of your arm, let that motivate you, and that's what you work on. But when you just kind of work out because they say you're supposed to work out, it don't last long. So I have weekly goals. I want to feel a certain burn in this part of my body, or I know I'm going to be traveling, so I need to get my immune system up. I want to gain 5 pounds. I want to lose 2 pounds. Whatever it is, always have a goal for your week, and we want to get to having a goal for the day, not just in exercise and everything, because that's how we, be productive and efficient.
I just want to say that to that too, 'cause I identify. You know what I'm saying? I'm 38 years old, and I know what it means to keep wanting to reinvigorate that kind of program. Because a lot of times, I came up working out every day of my life till I was 20-something years old, and then after that, okay, you know what I mean, a lot of stuff changed in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I do know what it means to keep having to reinvigorate that process. So for that, I would say it's your imagination more than anything. If I could throw something that would excite you, I would say join the People's Army. And what that means is create an organization of people like-minded, like yourself, that can make activity that functions as your lifestyle and does other things as well, like provide exercise. When I say join the People's Army, I mean get your crew together. This is what we do. We go out, we paintball. You know what I mean? We're going to go paintballing, you know what I'm saying, out in the countryside together. We're going to put on camouflage, run around, and matter of fact, this might be war training, but we ain't going to tell nobody. It's paintball, you know what I'm saying? And you can still hoop, you can still hoop. You can take the clip. Yeah, 50 in the clip. Yeah, we instead of throwing dice down and picking up money from each other, we throw dice down and we picking up push-ups from each other. Hey, you know what I mean? It's 50 in the clip, you know what I mean? And it's actually a game that we it's part of RBG Fit Club. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see, but it's throwing the dice and coming up with a workout regimen with push-ups involved with different kinds of push-ups that go with the whole thing, and it just makes it a little bit more exciting. Recently in my life, one of my comrades really invigorated me, and so I call it the workout the NIM 90X, because my homie, his name is Nim, and but he works out every day. But what he does is very exciting, the way that he'll have us go into it. Yeah, he uses regular boxing training, but we'll do everything from run from the house to the park, stop in the park, use all the exercise equipment in the park, and maybe there ain't no exercise equipment in the park, but you can do anything with 5 square feet of grass. You know what I'm saying? You can do anything with 5 square feet of grass. And then we hit the gym with the bag, we do the calisthenics all the way, do the ab thing, and then I get on the bike and ride to do everything else I have to do all day long. Now I know that might slow your day up, especially if you got stuff to do in your day, but you can make it part of your whole thing where it's part of your day with what you're gonna do. You wake up feeling that way. So that's just my little 2 cents.
And another thing real quick is equipment, portable equipment, like resistance cords. You know what I mean? Like 14 hours, you can do work every muscle group in the body. You can take it with you on the plane, get it in 10 minutes. And they say there's studies that say even if you don't exercise, say like an hour or 2 hours or whatever, if you exercise 3 times for 15 minutes, you get the same effect, same results. You know what I mean? It's just a commitment to do that. You can get a pull-up bar, little $19 pull-up bar right in your room, you know what I mean? And right before you go to bed, right when you get up, bust it down, And the last thing, because I know how important motivation is, and you get hyped for a few little sessions and then it fall off, is having routines already laid out, for my abs. Like I got a routine called absolutes, right? And it's like 5 different ab exercises in a cycle, and then you do that cycle 3 times. So I don't gotta think. If I'm in a hotel, I'll just be like, boom, let's just bust out absolutes right now. Or same with push-ups. We got a routine called 5 elements, where you do 20 clips of 5 different type of push-ups. You know what I mean? So when you want to work your arm and your chest, you don't gotta think. You just do 5 elements. So making your pre-packaged little exercise plan and stuff. Yeah. All right.
Peace. First of all, my name is Anova, and it's a pleasure being here to finally speak to you. You probably may say that my face looks familiar, because I believe you did have some kind of contact with my brother. He was poetic, Grim Reaper from
That's brother.
And actually, me and him was a group. First of all, was actually out the day. So I'm here in Dallas. You know, me and my wife is here in Dallas now. I have another brother that's pretty popular producer. But that's neither here nor there. I'd like to help in the development of the regiment that you're speaking of introducing, and I just want to know how can I be involved with that. And the other thing is that as a suggestion to everybody else, as far as adopting a vegan lifestyle, I would suggest 3 movies to watch. One is called The Earthlings. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
Very good
Me
movie.
too, man.
They call it The Vegan Maker.
Yeah.
It's that good.
Yeah.
And then the other is Food Matters and Food Inc. Food Inc. is the newest of the 3. And they're very good at explaining to you exactly what we're eating and the industrial process and how they make this out with the nice family farm is the one who's bringing us our food when it's really, all a war attack.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
But
Good one.
yeah, but I'd just like to know how can I be involved in the development of it. I'm also a writer.
Okay.
I wrote my book. It should be downstairs. Might have 1 or 2 copies left. But I'd like to communicate with you about some other personal issues, involving my brother, if you have the time.
For sure. All right. Well, I'll just say those movies that you were saying is right on point, man. I live with a holistic health counselor and a dietitian, so I have to see that, whether I want to see it or not. But eventually, in about 2 weeks, because I know y'all know how when you're trying to get certain things done, it don't be on your time frame sometimes. RBGFitClub.com will be that center network for all of us to use it, as a resource. But if you're in the health field, if you do massages, if you do yoga, whatever you do in health-related field, you will have a platform to other people looking for that to promote yourself, as well as ask questions from doctors, from Queen Afua, from all the people that we meet in our circles, and including yourself. You can submit blog entries. You can find YouTube links and put it up for people. All that. Yeah. So that's in about 2 weeks it'll be cracking. We right there, but it's kinks that I don't like to do nothing where it's like it ain't working now and all that. So but in the meantime, deadprez.com, you can contact us in general, leave your email, and everybody on that list will be notified, when the links is active. And getting at me personally, I can give you my info, and we got, my email. If anybody want to email me, while I'm saying it, is stickrbg@gmail.com. So
To complete the whole thought, that my brother did die in 2001 of colon cancer.
Yes, sir.
And he was very bitter at the music industry as a whole because of their treatment of him after he got diagnosed. He got dropped from the record label, of course. Right. And this is a group that had 3 albums, and the first went gold. And y'all are familiar with Red Diggers. It was a shame that even people like RZA did not support him when he was diagnosed with cancer. They didn't call, they didn't communicate with him at all after he was diagnosed. They gave him 6 months to live, or 3 months actually, between 3 to 6 months to live, but he lived for 2.5 years. So I was able to get a lot of information, of how he was feeling, and he was still recording up until the time of his death. So there's a lot of unreleased stuff that we can talk about.
Sure.
I want to say that I did a song with him.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I did a song with him. I was visiting him in his hospital and at his bed when he was dying of colon cancer. It motivated me. There was a brother named The Last Emperor from Philadelphia.
Yes, that's an excellent song.
And myself, we recorded a song with him. Okay. And I want to say that that's their industry. And a lot of times, their industry be having us by the chokehold. We use that as a standard about the way we got to move, and it's not the way we move. I was motivated by that particular situation to create an organization. And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know the story. I'd like to apologize from a person of the family for the disrespect on the part of his wife.
Oh, it's no problem.
Because I know that she kind of shut down the plans that you had because you were naming it after him.
Yeah.
He had control.
It's okay.
So I'm just letting you know.
Well, let me just tell you.
That's a personal thing.
Let me just tell you what happened regardless. This is for people who know. The organization is called the Grassroots Artist Movement. And I began this particular organization as a way to put the movement inside of hip hop, not to decrease the industry standard of hip hop and increase the organizing potential, activist potential in hip hop. And it was quote unquote, it would be a union for artists, not just rappers but dancers, and a way for us to network producers, anybody who would be around. And one of the main issues around that was happening inside the hip hop community was healthcare. And as we were introducing this idea of creating a healthcare referendum, I learned about Poetic. And immediately did everything I could. It was me and a brother whose name is Shabazz the Disciple. I don't know if you know Shabazz, of course you know Shabazz. Yeah, doing very well. Just released a new thing with Hellraiser. Hellraiser, good thing. Good brothers, they're doing real good. So we would go and we would talk to his family. And one thing that we were trying to do was create the Poetic Healthcare project inside the Grassroots Artist Movement. And what it did, even though we weren't able to name it that, we were able to gather a number of doctors around New York State, and now it's even they're in Georgia and California as well. But gather doctors and physicians and pediatricians and dentists who would be able to be accessed autonomously through people who would join the Grassroots Artist Movement through this campaign, through the Poetic campaign that says, look, we dying, and we as a group, we have this union potential and money earning potential and ability to do have the same kind of relationship that we have when we try to get on big jobs and get healthcare benefits. So it became the kind of thing, and it was because of Poetic that we were able to issue healthcare cards to Grassroots Artist Movement members. I was able to go and get a regular checkup. I mean, we're still working on it. The king side of the plan is not there, but I gotta say that it was because of Poetic that it even happened the way it did, or the motivation went that way. And I want to say, man, he gonna live forever in me. You know what I mean?
He already does. And
yeah.
It's just a full circle that we are now able to communicate because there's other issues that we'll deal with another time.
For sure. Power. Next person. Oh, you can pass it forward to the sister in front of you, actually. I saw you. Pardon me, everybody who I'm not seeing. Make sure you keep your hand up, and I'm trying to do the best I can. We can get around to it. I don't think we're going to go forever, though. So somebody got to put a time limit on it. But, sister, go ahead.
Give thanks for you guys. I am also a science teacher, so I'm trying to reach the youth as well. And right now we're talking about plants, the foods that we eat, also different products and where they come from. When we're talking about, I got a chance to speak about the West African women who go through this laborious process to get shea butter. You know, it's in a lot of our products that we use these days. So it's kind of hard to get the children to realize that we should think globally and act locally. So how